Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New
Happy New Year.
Year.
4 days late. Happy New Year's Evil. What's going on,
Yeah.
Darius? How you doing?
What's going on? Happy New Year to you.
Yeah. Thanks for joining me and watching this goofy, weird movie.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
No problem.
I enjoy the movies that we watch.
I do and I don't.
They're often not for everybody.
What's up, Carol's Cookies?
Hey,
How you
Carol's
doing, Carol?
Cookies. Hey, Krish.
And Krish, how you doing, bro? Happy New Year, Krish.
Yeah, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New
Krish.
Year, everybody. Happy New Year's Evil. We watched New Year's Evil from 1980. Movie I've heard of and a movie that exists.
I had never heard of it before, but I did recently watch Silent Night, Deadly Night, so I was in the mood for a holiday-themed horror movie.
For another holiday slasher movie.
Yeah. I don't even know if I'd call it horror. It was definitely a slasher.
Holiday horror.
Yeah. And not like what the Jack Frost movie.
Oh,
There's
God.
nothing supernatural about this one.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We were talking about that while we were watching New Year's Evil. Oh, that one is there's a horrible scene involving a carrot in that movie.
The unspeakable carrot. Well, yeah, it wasn't supernatural like that one. It was I don't know, I would say grounded in reality.
Reality based, yes. Yeah. There was no zombies, vampires, anything like that.
Right. And it wasn't like Freddy Krueger, where he's definitely, out to get everyone, but he's like a supernatural being. It felt a lot more like
this guy did kind of seem like he was out to get everyone because he was murdering a lot of people.
Well, he was out to get some people, but we weren't really sure why for most of the movie. And it did feel a lot more like an actual serial killer movie, like Zodiac.
Oh, hello, Brian. I've never seen this name before.
Crisco? Hey,
you
Brian.
Hello, Brian.
I've seen Brian around.
Welcome, Brian.
Yes, welcome, Brian.
Nice to see a new name.
Hey, I recognize that gunslinging ape. I think that's he might be a comic artist. I might have seen him on Michael T's. Let me know in the chat, Brian.
That's welcome. Always interesting to see a new name pop up here. Not too many people watch these streams, but I don't give a shit because I'm talking.
You've just been on hiatus.
I'm talking. Yeah, I've been away a while too. So, and I'm coming back with these crappy movies that I enjoy watching and making fun of. And the point is just to make fun of these movies.
Right. There's always someone who says, "Wait, why would you watch a bad movie on purpose?" And
it's like,
they
why
just don't
not?
Get it. Yeah.
Why not though?
Yeah, there's so many different kinds of bad movies, right? You could
Siskel and Ebert the shit out of it at the end of it, right?
Yeah, there's like bad movies. There's good bad movies, awesomely bad. It's basically, as long as it's not boring.
Also, this is along the lines of back in the day when I would go to VHS stores and there were certain movies on the shelf that I would always see when I was in there that I wouldn't even go near. This was along the lines of those movies. This is the first time I've seen this movie, so.
Yeah, and when he told me, he said, I got one for you. And he sent me the poster, New Year's Evil. I thought, perfect.
Okay,
Carol's
so
Cookies says, I haven't seen the movie, sorry, but I want to hear what yous have to say because it's not a sissy girly movie. We used to have bad movie Sundays when I lived in New Jersey.
bad movies. Also, there's certain movies that there are movies that are so bad that I wouldn't watch again. There are
Yeah,
some movies that are so bad that I have to watch them again.
there
I
are
don't
movies that
know
are
if I would
good
be
that
able
I would
to.
never watch again.
I don't know if I would watch this one again.
Be it. No, I would. I've got a clear replay in my head. I don't really need to watch it again.
There's nothing really to forget about this movie. It's just okay. So let's get into the
There
start
is a
of it,
bit
I
of a
guess.
mystery in the movie,
Yes.
which
So
Slasher sort of
what
figured out.
she's all right. This woman, who did you say she was
Pinky
again, Darius?
Pinky Tuscadero from Happy Days, but in 1980.
And she's some like rock and roll New Year's show host.
She's very
Like,
popular in the movie.
yeah, and people are calling in to her New Year's show, and she's taking live calls.
Yeah, like a 1980 female Carson Daly.
Yeah, yeah. But she looks like a f- like a 50-year-old woman who's kind of like trying to hang on to what hotness she had, like
Yeah, and her party lifestyle.
her party lifestyle. She has a son. She's got this weird son.
Derek. Oh, do you remember her stage name?
um. Oh shit! I
Because
forgot
her
it. No,
her
I forgot it.
her her government name was
Blaze.
Diane, but her
Blaze.
stage, yes, Blaze.
Blaze. There you go. I know.
And
All
she
right.
had red hair.
She had red hair. She's wearing these really short, tight outfits.
Did you notice that the color
There's
changed? Her dress was made out of some type of plastic where in some angles it's pink and in other angles it's green.
oh yeah, at the end too, she's wearing some crazy ass robe with this druid hood.
Yeah,
Okay.
like she's going to an Eyes Wide Shut party.
And and during her New Year's party, we get the guy with what is he what is he talking through on the phone?
Oh, that's
I thought it was a duck call thing at first when he
it.
was
Kind of looked
talking on
like
the
that. Yeah, it was some kind of 1980 handheld voice changer. It's probably mechanical, not digital. And yeah, he just spoke through it, and it distorted his voice into the payphone. Also, there was a
yeah,
payphone.
yeah. All right, and he says every midnight that happens around the country because remember she was also like while she was on the stage dressed like a $12 hooker. She's on she's on the call with everyone across the United States. Remember, she's like calling to New York. She's like, "How you doing there, everybody?" And then she says to Chicago, "How you doing there, everybody?" Because they're
Right.
out in
She's on
LA.
television. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's in LA, but she's on television, like American Bandstand. And everyone's watching her
yeah,
across the
yeah.
country.
Yes, it's New Year's Rockin' Eve,
Yeah, exactly.
and he's she's taking phone calls, and they put her on. Oh, hello,
Hold on.
Lawton
Gotta
Carey.
No, that's a bot. I'm gonna whack it. Whack that bot.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Bot has been whacked. All
Okay.
right.
Bye
You were
bye.
saying?
I guess New Year's Rockin' Eve here.
Eh. Right. So it starts out with where it's New Year's. It's striking midnight on the East Coast.
And every midnight, he's going to kill a different person and record it and play it back to her.
Right. On like some kind of handheld Sony tape recorder.
Yeah. That he brings everywhere with him.
Yeah.
So where's the first place he strikes? Well,
it's
actually,
in
we see him kill before the opening credits. So
right. Well, there's a woman with her hair in braids and shells in it, but she's also wearing a very stylish pantsuit in a hotel
yeah, well, that's right. She's on the phone with this woman,
with Blaze.
Blaze, and she runs
So
the
she,
shower, and then someone comes. Someone's in the shower and pulls out a switchblade, and so
she's the first victim.
then all of a sudden we get a view of a bunch of
Yvonne, that was her
idiots.
name. Yvonne.
Then
Yeah.
we get a view of a bunch of idiots driving down the street being idiots. They're like half Judas Priest, half like glam band. The way they're with their makeup. I thought those idiots were going to play some part of that movie. No, they didn't play any part of this movie.
Yeah, the bands in this movie were very ambiguous between hair metal, punk rock, and new wave.
Yeah. It was what we were saying. It was a weird 70s hangover.
Yes. Yeah,
Leaking
definitely.
into this movie.
Yeah.
But what was with those idiots in the beginning? Remember that they're driving down the street in the beginning during the opening credits? It made no sense. I don't know. It didn't make any sense.
I barely remember that part. Yeah, they're driving down the street, and oh yeah, the song is playing in the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
The theme song, New Year's Evil.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's go into the what's going on with the killer with the killer with the weird voice.
So all we
He's
know
going
so
to
far
kill.
is that he's killed Yvonne. Yeah, and then he calls Blaze at the show. You know,
We
she's getting
see
lots
his
of phone
face.
calls. Right,
We
we see
see
his
his
face.
face from the beginning. They show us what the killer looks like, which is very unlike every other horror movie, basically ever.
Right. Oh, and Blaze has a son. He's probably about 20 years old, named Derek.
Who's dressed very weird. He's wearing jeans, but like this weird suit with the tails up top.
Right, but he's not going to the show with his mom, right? So she's going to the show because she's the host, and he just kind of fucks off and disappears.
Well, he wants to stay upstairs and take pills and put stockings on his fucking head, whatever the hell he was doing.
Yeah, right, which was never really explained.
And ask about his dad.
Yeah, he asked about dad, and mom said, no, he can't make it because he never shows up for anything. All right, whacked into the butt. Yeah. So all of them. Let's see how many people died. Yvonne died in the shower, and then
All right.
Blaze
Well,
does the show.
first of all, the first kill is her in the shower, and the second kill is he breaks into a mental institution.
Yeah.
All right, let's not get past the mental institution part. So, disguises himself as one of the workers, tries to hook up with a nurse, immediately actually hooks up with the nurse, pulls out a bottle, and first of all, the nurse was in the back with the other nurse, and they were laughing at the mental patients trying to bring in the New Year's, watching this woman on television.
Right. Well, they were laughing at their adorable hijinks.
Yeah, because they were all dancing around.
Right. But they weren't. The nurses weren't laughing at them for being mental patients. They were laughing at
I
their
don't know. I
adorable
think they were laughing
shenanigans.
at her being mental patients.
Maybe.
I have a feeling those nurses must have gotten a laugh out of it. Come on, that one guy had the little robot, the little
Toy.
car spinning around. Yeah, the little toy spinning
Yeah.
around the table.
And then the other guy jumps out and smashes it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the other guy, yeah, before he smashed it though, he was looking scared at it. You saw he was like, his eyes are at the table level, and he's looking at it, bugging out while it's spinning around the table. Oh no, those nurses were there for comedy purposes. They weren't there to help anybody.
Clearly. And they're the only two people working, apparently.
This is Darth Haster? Oh, Darth Haster.
Yeah.
How you
Name
doing, bro?
change.
And Jens, what's good, brother? Happy New Year's Eve, everybody.
Right. So
Okay.
the killer has already called in and told Blaze through the voice changer that he's going to kill someone every
What did
midnight
he
across
say
the
his name
country.
was? What did he say his name was?
Evil.
Is evil.
Just call me
I-
evil.
no, the way you said that sounded too evil. He was doing it through that weird. It sounded like if Donald Duck was gonna say he's gonna murder everybody.
Right. And he told her the last one is going to be her. And she kind of blew it off. She's like, whatever.
Well, she blew it off with the phone call, but then she immediately went backstage and said something about it.
Right.
All right, first of all, her manager too. Her manager was getting all pissed off because her manager was like pulling the strings.
Yeah.
Remember, her manager was like the one like telling her, "All right, get ready to go out there." Blah blah blah. What's up, Raquel? How you doing, Raquel?
Hey, Raquel.
Happy New Year's Eve, Raquel. I wonder if Raquel's heard of this movie.
They couldn't star 69 the calls. No, that didn't exist back then.
Yes, this was 1980. 1980, star 69 didn't exist.
Nope.
He was also calling from a payphone too.
Right. So he goes into the mental hospital and
With his tape recorder.
changes in. Yeah, but he changes into a doctor's outfit.
Yeah.
You know, like a white coat, and he pops out of some random door, and the nurse, who's never seen him before, is like, "Oh, hello." And
also, the nurse is walking through the hall lighting a cigarette in the mental hospital. So you know this was the 80s when people could still do that.
Right. So he basically immediately pulls a Ted Bundy on her, and he starts trying to charm the pants off her. And even though she's never seen this doctor before, she's like, "Sure."
He Ted Bundy'd the shit out of her.
Yeah. And he's like, "I got some booze." She's like, "Hell yeah."
Yeah, pop a bottle. It's New Year's. It's like, okay. And then immediately in the back room, immediately.
Yeah, immediately they start making out.
He starts to play the ball drop at the New York at Eastern time zone. And he pulls out a
turns the radio on. Yep.
Presses record and and then has to call back in with the duck voice and play.
Dr. Murda. And Carol's Cookies asked, like, how was the gore in the movie? Was it like uh puddles of blood or just splatters of blood? Dr. Murda.
Was it? Wait, it really wasn't. All right, he did. He put a bag over someone's head. Let's think about the way he killed people too. All right, there's the biker guy.
Right.
Yeah, was there really too much blood in this movie?
No, there wasn't actually a whole lot of blood. There were stabbings and throat slashings. There was a brick. There was a bag suffocation. Raquel says, "No, I haven't seen Dr. Murda."
All right, we also didn't. What the girl he dragged into the dumpster too. We didn't see. We didn't see how he killed her. We just saw that he dragged her into the dumpster.
Right, but then he used that as a way to get another kill because someone opened the lid on the dumpster, and he lit a lighter and made some menacing face, and then he just pulled her in.
No, Raquel, this movie's not called Dr. Murda. This movie it's called New Year's Evil. What's Dr.
New
Murda?
Year's Evil. She was talking about the killer dressed up like a doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, and starts charming the nurse.
Oh, okay.
Right. But what's even more weird than just the fact that he seduces and kills her is that he starts recording it on the tape recorder.
So he can play it back to
Blaze.
I guess I keep saying it with a question mark. Blaze? Yeah, it's Blaze. I gotta stop questioning it. Her name is Blaze. So
right.
Calls it
and
again.
Then the other nurse finds the body when she eventually goes walking around the mental hospital.
Well, he tells her when he calls in, like, where the cops can find the body, but the other nurse finds it before the cops do.
Right.
And then he does it for the Chicago, for Midwestern. Who's the one for the Midwestern? Which
was that the dumpster chick?
That's the one. The dumpster girls. Okay, yes, that was the dumpster girls. Because he was also getting in kills that have nothing to do with what he says he's going to do. Yeah.
Right. So he's not so devoted to the ritual that he only kills people ritualistically. He also kills people that get in his way or come after him.
He also hits that biker. He hits the biker gang. He's disguised as a priest somehow. At one moment, I don't even. There was kind of a blink and miss it thing for me, I guess, because all of a sudden he's dressed as a fucking priest.
I think he stole the car of a priest, which is why there was the photo of a nun hanging in there. And I think he got the priest's clothing from the car and dressed up like a priest. But he didn't dress up as the priest until he ran into the biker gang on the street that flipped him off. And then he accidentally ran into one of their bikes and knocked a guy over. And then they started chasing him.
And then it's on. And then it's on from there because they're
then it was on.
And they chase him into he's trying to lay low in a drive-in movie theater.
Right, and then he puts on the priest garb.
Roaming about. The biker gang starts roaming about in the drive-in movie
theater. They're looking for him.
Yeah.
And so he sees them coming, so he leaves a car there dressed as a priest and ends up running face first into one of the bikers who doesn't recognize him at first.
While the other bikers are busy destroying his car that he abandoned.
Yes.
And one of them,
the biker doesn't recognize him, and
one of them gets in his face while he's trying to escape, and
And he says, "I'm just a man of God."
a man of God pulls out a switchblade and immediately stabs the biker dead. All right, would
Yep.
that probably be the bloodiest scene of the movie?
I think the bloodiest scene might actually be that ear piercing when Derek puts a stocking over his head and pierces his own ear with a needle, and you
Did
see
he
the
pierce
blood
his
runs
own ear?
down.
I thought he put it through the friggin' stocking. That's what I thought he did.
Well, I think it was a red stocking on purpose because it's hard to see through the red stocking, but it looked like there was blood running down his neck from the ear.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
this whole
couldn't
time
tell.
Derek is
I
just
thought
doing weird stuff. We just see cuts back to Derek periodically just being weird. Like he's taking pills and then he puts a stocking over his head and pierces his
he
ear.
keeps asking about his dad.
Yeah. And he's watching his
Which
mom
makes
on television.
which made me wonder from the beginning when he keeps asking about his dad. I was like, I think we might know who his dad is.
Hey Deej.
Oh, what's up? How you doing, man? What's going on? Happy New Year's Evil.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
bikers. No, he's not a real priest, Carol.
he's a killer dressed as a priest.
It's not a real priest. He has many different disguises. Oh, that's right. Here's another disguise. His fake mustache. Let's not forget his Scarface suit, and he's wearing a fake mustache.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
And
he puts
we
on
legit
this
watched
disco leisure suit.
we legit watched him put the glue on the fake mustache too. Like we're watching a scene of a man gluing a fake mustache to his face.
Right. And I was trying to figure out why would he put a fake mustache on? Is he trying to be incognito, in which case the mustache is not going to be enough? Or is he going someplace where he has to have a mustache? And it turned out it actually was option 2 because he goes to a disco club in his disco leisure suit with the mustache because you have to have a mustache at the disco club. And he goes and meets a girl named Sally sitting at the end of the bar who has a roommate. And he gets them to come with him. And is that the one he throws in the dumpster?
All right.
Hey,
Well,
Bone.
he takes them. He promises them something. I don't even remember the whole conversation. What's up, Bone? How you doing, bro? Happy New Year's Evil. Happy New Year's Evil, everybody. Two there, yeah, all right. So he gets a twofer though when he's in the bar
The disco bar.
because he gets the girl. Yeah, he with his fake mustache. His fake mustache lures in two women, and they're getting into some long conversation in the car that I don't even remember every bit of the conversation they were having. It
Yeah,
seemed
no,
like
I
he
don't
was
either.
getting pissed off. It seemed like he was getting really pissed off with the conversation. All right, let's not forget that. All right, when he's on the run dressed as a fucking priest, he like hijacks a car. He
Yep.
carjacks this couple. He carjacks the
Yeah.
couple. Like this girl smoking a joint in the back of a car, and her boyfriend's grabbing her tits, and and then all of a sudden he just ends up running into the car, and oh,
Right. And then
I'm sorry. I've never seen
he
this movie before, so I'm sorry. It's fresh in my mind. That's why I'm laughing about it.
yeah, we're
Sorry.
talking about it in non-linear fashion. But yeah, he steals the car. Does he kill the guy? Is that
I
the guy
don't
he kills with the
remember
brick?
even what happened to the guy. Did he just bail? Did he just like?
He might
Did
have.
he just?
He's well, so because remember he came to the drive-in movie theater. Hey, vigilante. He came to the drive-in movie theater to escape the
Oh, what's
bikers
up,
that were
Vigilante?
chasing him, and he escaped the car dressed as a priest. The
What's
bikers
good, Vigilante?
find the
Happy New Year's
car.
Eve, Vigilante.
Happy New Year's Evil. And the bikers find the car and destroy the car. Meanwhile, while he's dressed as a priest, bumps into the biker, who he kills, and then he steals the car with the girl in the back who's high. Don't know what happens to the guy, and he's driving away, and she says, "Please, please, just let me go,
Oh,
please."
yeah. Yeah, she
And
propositions him. Yes.
well, he's holding his switchblade up in the air while driving, and she's like, "Please let me go." He folds the knife away, and she says, "I'll do anything." Right? And she
Yeah.
propositions him.
And then he doesn't like the proposition, and he pulls the switchblade out immediately.
Right. 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 When she propositions him, he pulls the knife back out again. So that was alarming to me. I thought, ooh, yeah, no, he's got some kind of issue about that. He didn't want to hear that. That was his trigger. Girls Cookie says never beg. And she also asked a minute ago if let's see about the ear. She asked because you guessed like, well, is the kid's dad?
I guessed
The
one thing. I guessed one thing about the movie, and I ended up getting it right.
Yeah, and what did she asked me if it was all in the kid's head, if it was all in Derek's head. And I thought of that. That it occurred to me that it might all just be a manifestation of his split psyche. It could be all in his head, right? Because they were doing weird things like cutting from the phone call when Evil calls Blaze at the club
To
when he
Derek
hangs
in
up.
the to Derek in the
Right,
hotel room
right. When he hangs up that
upstairs.
payphone, yeah, it immediately cuts to Derek on the phone hanging that phone up. So I thought, okay, was this
He
some kind
keeps
of like
saying to
split
he was
personality?
trying to call. He keeps saying to he was trying to call his dad, and his dad, the line was busy. I gotta
Mm-hmm.
smash another one. I smash
Yeah,
another one. Oh.
and when he was watching his mom on the TV, he had a bouquet of flowers in his hand. And when she started dancing with the rockers, he got really angry and started tearing up the flowers.
You know what, Bone? It probably was. That. Do you think this had? Do you think this saw the light of day in the theater? Well, it was 1980, so it might have. Very limited amount of theaters across the state.
Yeah, well, I read that Elvira showed it on her program once.
Really,
Yeah,
New Year's Evil.
yeah,
So
on her horror night show.
okay, so what does he? All right, now I'm trying to go to what he does after escaping as the priest. Okay, after he
He
escapes
steals the
as the
car.
priest.
Right. Well, remember
What
those
I
girls
didn't
from
get
the
was
disco bar. You remember uh, Sally? That's the one he ends up strangling with a plastic bag over her head.
yeah, yes, yeah. All right, yeah. He dumps them in some park or someone's backyard or something, right?
Yeah, but like hanging from like a tree branch.
No, he had her set up on some like swing set. I thought.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I remember she was upright.
I thought it was a swing set. So then the
Yeah,
cops are following the trail. All right, this is where I really, really started questioning this movie. Okay, remember they're following the trail with the flashlight
yep,
to the handbag,
right.
the
Yeah,
little
so
handbag
from
on the side.
Sally, they pass the swing. Like, what's that over there? And there's this shiny sequin coin purse on the ground near a tree next to a slide, like a children's slide. And when the
And
cop
what
picks
happened?
up the coin
And then,
purse,
and then what happens as soon as the cop picks up the coin purse? What happens?
then the body of the roommate slides down the slide. We didn't see any
With a
wires.
tit,
We didn't see any.
with a titty.
Yeah,
She's got we see she's got one titty cut open. Like there's a slash on
yeah,
one of her titties.
yep. She's dead too. Slashed
Oh, we
across the
also forgot
chest.
to bring up we forgot to bring up that once Evil calls in that they Blaze wants more police around, so they're looking into this whole thing with the killer going on.
Yep. And so two policemen show up. Dead Boob Society.
Too.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
two
this is
policemen.
Dead Boob Society. You know what? You could call this Dead Boob Society the movie.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, two policemen show up, and she is offended by this because she wanted a whole gang of policemen to show up. But they don't take it that seriously. I think it's just some prankster on the phone until they start finding bodies.
Well, also when he's sending it, he's recording his murders and playing it for her live.
Yeah. So gradually they start to take it seriously. They begin to investigate. They find more bodies. And so let's see, after they find the roommate on the slide with Sally suffocated.
How did the roommate slide down the slide? What happened?
Yeah. Yes, it is a setup for a shot, but we have no explanation for why the roommate's body slid down the slide when the cop picked up the coin purse off the ground. There were no
It
wires,
made
there were
no
no
sense.
pulleys set up.
No,
We just don't know.
no. It made no. There's a lot of. All right. He hits a cop over the head with a brick, and then steals the cop's uniform to
Yep.
sneak into the building. Like, I don't. What is he? What is he doing? Why? First of all, why do you have to wear the fake mustache? What's going on?
Because he went to the
Why does
disco
he
bar.
need disguises? Why does he need disguises?
He was trying to fit in so he
I
could
don't
pick up
get
disco
why he needs
chicks.
disguises. Also, yeah, all right. That's also he's supposed to be like a Hollywood husband, right? Or spoiler alert that he's the fucking the woman's husband.
Yep. He's Blaze's husband, which Slasher
Sorry.
predicted.
Sorry, spoiler alert for this 1980s movie.
He's like, is that Derek's
1980
dad?
on the fucking button. That's what I was wondering the whole time. I was like, is this his dad? And I was right.
Right. Which is why we saw his face the whole time, because the reveal was not the face. The reveal was the identity when he shows up in the hotel room.
I don't know.
Because
he hits it.
the police take her back to her hotel room or her apartment, and they scope it out, and only Derek is there. And then he immediately leaves again, and they wait outside guarding the door. And as she sits at the mirror, she sees a man in a hideous mask walking up behind her.
In a tracksuit with this really creepy clown mask. He's got this tracksuit on, the Bruce Jenner tracksuit.
Yep,
back when Bruce
absolutely. Spoiler alert. Yeah, and it's got a giant chin, and he's walking up behind her, and she doesn't see him. And then he walks up behind her, and she sees him and freaks out. And then he pulls the mask off, and we see that it's the killer We think she's going to freak out again, but she recognizes him as her husband. And she calms down. She actually calms down. And then he opens the door.
And then the cop outside starts flipping out at the husband because he wasn't known to have been in the building. And they're like, he's like, how the hell did you get in here?
Yep.
He was like, I was hiding in the bathroom.
Yeah. Like, we checked in there. It's like, no, whatever. And so she has to confirm, yes, this is my husband. We're like, oh shit, that's really her husband.
And the cop is still pissed off about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he doesn't trust it at all.
Even after she like tries to clear it with the cop outside on duty, he's still pissed off about it.
Come to think of it, we never actually find out how he did get in there.
Because he murdered a cop and stole his uniform and walked in there. And the other cop outside just like let it go. The other cop outside just watched him walk into the building.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the uniform is how he got in, even though
after he hit the cop in the head with the brick.
Yeah.
The tracksuit. Yeah, he had a great tracksuit. I kind of like his tracksuit and clown mask combination. It looked kind of cool. In fact, that mask he's wearing is kind of like the way the Joker gang was in the beginning of the Dark Knight. Remember the bank heist scene?
Well, it kind of reminded me of that, or the President masks from Point Break.
Oh yeah. But a clown version.
Yeah, it was kind of like a caricature of like a human face. Big old Jay Leno chin.
It definitely had a Jay Leno chin.
So that was one of the big twists, which Slasher predicted, that yes, the killer was her husband, Derek's father, all along. So now that he's back, he's not killing her. So what is he going to do next?
Yeah. What the fuck did he do next? It's like, what the fuck is the elevator thing? That fucking elevator thing he was doing there. That was so stupid.
I don't know if that checks out. I don't think that was very realistic at all. So he goes.
He's got control of the elevator. He's got this control of the elevator with the little thing he puts in the where he kept putting that thing in the controls of the elevator.
Right. Carol's Cookie says, "Is she in on the murders?" No, she's not in on the murders. She doesn't know about the murders at all.
She's ignorant to the whole fucking thing. She's ignorant.
But for a second, that question did occur to me.
Although, like I know, like it seems like when she's talking to her son, she seems like, I don't know. It seems like she thinks something's going on, but then all of a sudden she hangs up on him.
Well, there's definitely something going on with Derek. He's just being really weird whenever he's alone in the movie. Just super duper weird.
Remember when the cops were talking to her? he's like hanging around the corner of where they're talking, and he has the fucking stocking on his head, and he's wearing those. What did you say? Jordy LaForge shit on his fucking.
Yeah. So, like, it's not already weird enough that we had a scene where he's just sitting alone in his room, pulling a red stocking over his face, and then
ripping up roses. He's like ripping up roses in his hands.
Yeah, and then he pierces his own earlobe with a giant needle. But then, next time we see Blaze, Derek is walking up and just sort of looking at her from a distance with the stocking on his head and this Geordie LaForge visor over his eyes. Nobody notices. And then he just sort of
I think it was him creeping around the corner though, because when they were showing him, it was a close up, but I didn't see him in the background
no,
when they were
nobody
showing
saw
him
him.
while
No
the
one
cop.
noticed.
And they never went back to that. I was like, what is this?
Never explained. And so the husband, he leaves the room and he goes downstairs in the building to the control panel. He pulls it off.
Fucking with the elevator.
Yeah. But and he hooks some wires up to the small portable television he has, and then it lets him see the security camera. And he takes a screwdriver into all the electrical system of the elevator, and he just starts shaking it around. And he can control the elevator, make it
Yeah,
stop,
yeah,
make it go.
yeah.
And every
He's got
time
a
he
camera
does, you just
set
see
up there too. He's got a
sparks
camera
flying
set up
out
there
everywhere.
too.
Yeah.
You saw there's camera. He's seeing camera footage in there too. You
Yeah.
see that?
Yeah, he connects it
Were
through
there
the
elevator cameras
controls.
in 1980? Were
There
there
might have been.
elevator cameras at that point? I'm wondering.
Yeah, well, because I thought that's why he was able to just connect a wire from that box to his television, because the camera in the elevator was already there, and he was
He
just
makes it free fall. He makes that shit fucking free fall.
right. And so Blaze gets on the elevator with one of the cops, and she's taking the elevator down. And then was it Richard was his name? He sticks a screwdriver in the panel, stops the elevator, and then he he shakes it around, knocking them out. Basically, they fall over, and then the door opens. And he gets on the elevator, and Blaze is still not unconscious, but she's
He
disoriented, and he drags the
boots the
policeman
cop in
away.
the face. But first off, he boots the cop in the face before he drags him away.
Right. And Blaze does not notice at all that he just boot stomped the cop in the face, drags him out by the feet, and stashes the body around the corner. He comes back and is like, "Hey, honey." She's like, "Huh?
He's
What
like,
happened?"
And then all of a sudden he explains his evil deeds to her. It's like,
Yeah. And so she's been married to him for like 20 years.
It was at this point I was like, what? This didn't need to be. He starts going all like Puritan on her. He's like, Derek tells me how you act in front of men. Like, you're her husband and you don't know that this is what she fucking does on television? You fucking idiot.
Well, because around the middle of the
Like,
movie, the lieutenant.
He's famous hosting a New Year's Eve thing. And you don't know this is what. Yeah, because remember, there's like her like with the many shitty bands they kept playing. They were doing many shitty band scenes and many shitty mosh pit scenes.
Oh, the most fake looking mosh pits.
Yeah, like Nickelodeon level. Like shit, if they were to have a Nickelodeon show where they have a mosh pit on it, this would be the pretty much
and
same
the stage diving. It was like 2 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
man.
the shitty bands themselves.
Oh yeah, no, they were terrible.
But
one of them does the theme song.
How does the Hollywood husband not know that this is what the woman does? And
because he's always gone. Because he's always absent, right? That was why Derek asked, "Oh, where's Dad?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, well, he's gone somewhere right now.
He's killing his
never
way
around.
here, son. He's killing his way here, son. Don't worry, he'll be here soon."
And the lieutenant said earlier on when they found the body, he's like, "This was a sick mind, sexual frustration, and probably mother issues." Like, well, that's a very specific psychiatric diagnosis for a lieutenant in 1980.
He's cut the breasts of most of his victims. Well,
Right.
like,
Right. Right.
all
And
right,
then we
you
see
guys
that
are
Derek's
really
obviously
going
got
over.
some kind of
You
issue.
guys are really going overboard here.
Right. Well, and we saw that Derek clearly has some serious mental issues, which is why I thought for a
Yeah.
moment that maybe Derek and the killer were actually the same person, and that we were just seeing them differently, but that it was all in his head and he was actually the killer all along. But I was wrong. Slasher was right. And so the husband tells the wife that it was him. He has the tape recorder with him. He plays it back, the sound of the murders, and he said basically he just hates women. He's got serious issues, and he hates women. He thinks they're evil and selfish, and that's why he's killing them. Am I wrong?
Well, that's what it was.
Yep.
Right? I
And
mean,
yep. And so then you think, well, is he going to kill her?
spoiler
And what does he
alert.
do?
He just does that stupid elevator thing.
I remember. I
He
said this is a
doesn't
setup.
kill.
Yes.
He doesn't kill her. He does the stupid elevator thing.
Well, he's going to kill her in an elaborate villainous way, where he takes out handcuffs and a chain, and he ties up her hands to the bottom of the elevator. And then he goes back over to the box with the screwdriver and starts stabbing it around in the elevator control box. Sparks flying everywhere. The elevator shoots up.
Carol's
None of
Cookies,
them knew
I
what they were
think,
writing.
has it on the button right there.
8 writers, and none of them knew what they were writing. I think it was probably
Yeah.
more like
You know
two
why?
writers, and they didn't know what they were writing.
Because every one of them should have done the same drug together, as opposed to like one of them smoking meth and one of them smoking crack, one of them shooting heroin. Like they should all have like chipped in for like we're gonna do acid, we're gonna do mushrooms, we're gonna collaborate.
Right. If they were all doing cocaine together, this could have been more like an Andy Sedaris movie.
Exactly. Like, you know, you got to be on the same level as your writing staff.
Right. Oh, so the elevator shoots up there, and she's screaming as she's hanging from the bottom of the elevator. And he told her he's gonna bring it crashing down and squash her.
So stupid. It's so stupid.
After all the stabbing he's done and the brick punching, face stomping, and even backed into a guy, he's gonna kill his own wife, who had no idea that he was crazy after being married to him for 20 years. He's just gonna smash her with an elevator.
Get her manager though. When the cops were like, "Oh, he's in the building," her manager was like, "I knew that guy was a fucking psycho." Remember that? It's like,
Yeah.
where did that come from? Yet he could hit a cop with a brick and walk into the building. Like, what does that mean? Like, what do you mean by that? It's like,
Right.
he obviously wasn't estranged. He wasn't an estranged husband. Obviously not.
Right. He was there. We have no idea what he normally does on a typical night, but he's not at the club watching her shaking around with rock bands.
He's part Willem Dafoe, part Bruce Jenner. That's what he is.
Yeah, that's exactly what he looks like. Is 1980s Willem Dafoe crossed with 1980s Bruce Jenner. That is 100% what he looked like. And so the cops show up while Blaze is hanging from the elevator. And 2 people get on the elevator. And so they're going down.
Another idiot drunk couple.
Yep.
We see a lot of idiot drunk stoned couples in this movie.
It was 1980.
And they're also very bad actors.
Oh, yeah. So they're on the elevator going down, and he takes that screwdriver and starts stabbing it around in the box again. Sparks fly out. The elevator starts to drop at full speed. The couple on the elevator are freaking out. And then, after some time goes by, then they hear her screaming. And they realize there's a woman hanging from the bottom of the elevator. And so then the cops come running in. They take position, and they start having a shootout with Richard. And so it's 5 cops on 1 man. And I think this is the first time he pulls out a gun in the whole movie. And so he's hiding behind the wall shooting at them.
It is the
Meanwhile,
first time he put that gun in the movie. Yes.
yeah. Meanwhile, the elevator just keeps falling and falling and falling. And it just keeps falling while they're having the shootout. And the elevator, it takes forever coming down. But one of the cops shoots the elevator control box. Sparks fly out, and then the elevator stops. And so Richard books it out of there. Pew pew. Exactly.
Yeah, he pews his way out of there.
Yep. He makes it all the way up to the roof, and they chase after him. Meanwhile, Blaze is still just dangling there.
in his awesome tracksuit still.
Yes.
Still got his awesome tracksuit.
He makes it up to the roof, and he's looking out over the city. The cops catch up with him, and he has the mask in his hand that he was wearing when he spooked his wife. And for some reason, he decides to take the time, put the mask on, turn around, and give this speech to the cops. And what did he say?
Tracksuit pew pew.
Yep.
He gave some sort of Shakespearean type speech. All right. Well, first off, he takes his gun out, puts it on the floor, and then takes his switchblade out. First of all, he takes his switchblade out, opens the switchblade, and then puts it on the ground. Like, why did he open his switchblade and put it on the ground?
Right, because they told him to put down the gun.
All in his.
They didn't even mention the switchblade. Right. Yes, he takes out the blade and puts that down too. He gives a speech, which didn't really make any sense.
And then bye. And then, what? That's like, huh?
He jumps off the roof. And they run to look over the edge, and he's just sprawled out in the middle of a parking lot, dead, still wearing the mask. And I know what you're thinking. Well, where's Derek? That's what I was thinking. Where the hell is Derek? So
we'll
the ambulance comes.
And it's like, we'll see Derek in a minute.
Yeah. But the ambulance comes, and they get Blaze down from the bottom of the elevator somehow, put her on a stretcher, take her out, put her in the ambulance. And Derek shows up. And he sees this body on the ground, and he realizes it's his father. The father he's been asking about for the whole movie. Yeah. He's weeping. And we already know this.
Laying over him, weeping.
But he also.
And then what the fuck happens? And then like 2 seconds
he takes
later,
the mask.
and then 2 seconds later, what the fuck happened? Jesus
he takes
Christ.
the mask.
What the fuck with this movie, dude? What the fuck?
So you see the
oh my god!
You see the ambulance worker wheeling Blaze into the back, locks the stretcher in place. They shut the door, and then the camera. Oh, but while they're taking her out, all of her raving fans are outside. Everyone knows her because she's famous, and they're like, Blaze! Oh my God, Blaze! As she's being wheeled by into the ambulance. And so they're all surrounding the ambulance, right? They shut the ambulance. The camera pans around between the 2 front seats, and who's sitting in the driver's seat?
In the fucking clown mask.
It's Derek.
In the fucking clown mask.
And yet nobody outside the ambulance notices this. And then
And we
the
see a good crowd of people around that ambulance too.
Yep.
So they should be able to see who is driving that fucking ambulance.
They should. They should also have seen the other thing that happens because the camera pans over to the right and you see the other ambulance driver is dead in the passenger seat.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Yeah. So, you know what? I don't know what to think of this fucking movie.
Well, and then the ambulance drives off and we get an overhead shot of the city and the credits roll.
And then they play this song they played before, like 2 or 3 times, I think. I think they play that same song like more. They played it more than twice, I believe.
And we both said, "What the hell did we just watch?" That was a movie.
Yep.
That was a movie that was made.
Filmed. Spent money on
Other
it.
people have presumably seen it.
Spent money
in the
on
last 42 years. Hey, pop culture curator. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing? About New
You
Year's
recognize
Evil.
him?
Happy New
You
Year's
know who it
Evil.
is, right?
I've seen him on your chat.
That is the artist formerly known as Super Blubberpuss.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hello, former Super Blubberpuss. Happy New
Just to give
Year's
you a sense
Evil.
of continuity. Yes, Happy New Year's Evil.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks. Good to see you too.
So, all right. Now that we discussed this fucking movie, what the hell are your takeaways from what the fuck went on with all this? Like, do you think it was stupid? Do you think it could have been better?
It was pretty stupid. I think it was trying to be a little bit clever with the unusual reveal. The thing is, the movie set up a lot of things that didn't pay anything off, right? Like the mental hospital. Why were they working in a mental hospital, the two nurses, instead of some other kind of hospital?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Because they said he was in the mental hospital at one point, right? Didn't somebody say that
Who was?
he was? Someone said that. I thought there was a part where
Richard?
It was revealed that that he was in the mental hospital at one point. That's what I thought it was.
See, I don't remember that. I just remember him going to the mental hospital to seduce the nurse and then kill her. But the patients at the mental hospital aren't really there for any reason except to establish that this is a mental hospital. So it seemed like it was only included in order to subconsciously suggest the idea of people having mental problems. You know?
Yeah, I guess.
And there's only two nurses working, right? And so,
of course, all these psycho killer 80s movies, and like even going back to the 70s, even going back to the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Yeah, all psycho killers. So, like, you can't go into the whole we need mental health awareness debate when it comes to
that was not a concern.
A bunch of movie characters that are based off Ed Gein, you know.
Yeah, no, the two dudes that had serious mental problems in this movie were not getting any help, and it wasn't really addressed that they should be. Yeah. And the other nurse, I forgot her name, the brunette. She didn't really seem to serve any purpose other than
to discover her body,
right? Which the cops could have done, so they could have. Right, they didn't actually need that character to be in the movie at all. She didn't get killed, right? She just found the body at a time when the cops were finding bodies.
Yeah.
And Carol's Cookies asked a really good question.
He also said, no, I don't know. I don't really know. Like, did they?
It felt
did they
like
really
it,
think that?
But
like,
not
the
really.
The sun, because all of a sudden, dickhead takes up the mantle of the clown mask. So, which obviously
Right.
means he's going to kill his mother, right? While he has
Or
his
he's going to
mother in the
try.
end.
Right. Basically, it felt like it was just setting up a twist ending where it's not actually over. Credits roll. Right. To leave you on
Yeah,
sort of a
because he rides
cliffhanger.
away with his mother in the ambulance.
Right. And as far as we know, it never got a sequel. So to me, it felt like they were trying to
Oh, was
imply
it?
the
Maybe
possibility of
there
a
was.
sequel, but
Maybe
all they
there
were
was a New
really
Year's.
doing, yeah,
Maybe there
all they
was
were
a New
really
Year's
doing
Evil
was
too.
maybe all they were really doing was setting up a twist ending. But technically, it was open for a sequel, but I don't see there being a whole second movie after that. Because we already have the reveal, right? You know, we know who Richard is. He's the husband, the father all along, right? And then we know who Derek is. He's that, you know, kid with problems who is now, in full blown killer mode, just like his father. And that was another implication that it was that basically the son was um
I had a
disturbed
feeling
because the father
he
was disturbed.
I had a feeling he was involved somehow. I that's what I thought.
Because here's the thing. It definitely feels like Bone says can't wait for the sequel. It definitely felt like um it was strongly implied that Derek was disturbed because his father was disturbed, right? And so either it was genetic, right? And then he got the killer gene from his father, or it's because of the neglect that he got because his father was never around. Because if it's not that, then it means that he's a killer because of his mother, which would mean that the killer was right. And I don't think that's what they were trying to say. Does that make sense?
I don't know. Seriously, this is a fucking movie that I walk away like I don't know.
Right. And so was jumping off the roof part of his plan? I mean, did he ever expect to make it out?
You know
That's not
what?
even the most
I don't
unrealistic
know.
thing.
What what made sense in this fucking movie? What did? What did? This man is married to this woman who is doing this New Year's rock and roll show type bullshit.
Right. So what? Let's say, assuming
Doesn't
Derek is like 20, right?
realize what she's doing though. Like,
Right. They sort of explained loosely how their relationship has been. He's like not around, but I mean, if they've been married for 20 years and she had no idea that he had these kind of problems, then basically it was all just a setup for the twist.
what is he, a comic book villain?
Right,
Fucking
exactly.
Doctor Doom.
Right. Has he just been living a double life this entire time? Is that what he's been doing when he hasn't been
You
around?
know
We
what?
don't know.
That's actually another fucking point right there. He probably has way more of a body count on him than what we've seen in this movie. Now that you
Yeah.
fucking mentioned it.
He could. That could be the more interesting movie there, the prequel.
New Year's Evil Eve.
Yeah. Christmas Evil. No.
Yeah, I don't want to be around this guy on Thanksgiving either. Fuck this guy.
Right. And so why did Derek put the stocking over his head? Why did he pierce his ear? That
What?
was an entire
What?
scene.
Yeah, the roses. He's ripping up roses in his hands. Like,
That made a little more sense to me because he's watching his mother on television party with these rock stars, and that's when he rips up the roses. Now, why did he buy the roses in the first place? He doesn't give them to anyone. He just has them from the beginning of the movie, and then he rips them up when he
well,
watches
wasn't
his
he
mom on
trying to
TV.
give him? I thought he like gave. I thought he was like trying to hand them to his mother. I don't know. That's what I
And
thought
she
it
didn't
was.
want him. Yeah, maybe it
I
was
don't know.
unclear at that point in the beginning. maybe he was offering them to her and she didn't accept them, and then he was stuck with them. Then when he's
Well,
watching her on television,
we were also talking a bit during parts of the movie, so
that's true. Yeah, we were. Other
but
things were
maybe we missed something within there with him with the roses. So
yeah. So while some things were set up and never paid off, there are other things that weren't really set up at all or were set up really weakly, like the priest costume, right? Where did he get that car? I don't even remember him stealing that car, but he just sort of had the priest costume after that. And the only explanation we get is visual. It's the nun, the picture of the nun hanging from the steering wheel. Now, I wondered if that might also be just a subtle hint to that he was like in Catholic school as a kid and that he was abused by a nun, and that was something else that was triggering him to hate women. But that's never explained, and they never come back to it. So it ended up feeling like just a setup to explain how he got the priest costume.
Carol's Cookies. This is an actual movie. It's on YouTube. I tried watching it
Yeah.
another way, but I had to resort to watching it on YouTube. So
Right. And in a lot of slasher movies, there are rules, right? Where, yeah, if you drink or if you do drugs or if you fornicate, then you are definitely going to
then
die.
you're a prime target. Then you are on the hit list.
Right.
That was
And,
kind of popularized from the Friday the 13th movies, right? Because Jason's mother hated fornicators because fornicators got poor old Jason killed in the lake.
Right. Exactly. And so when he steals the second car with the girl in the back, and he puts the knife away, and then she propositions him, and he pulls the knife back out. It's like he was triggered by it. The fact that she would suggest, doing something intimate with him is what upset him. And just like with the nurse at the beginning at the mental hospital, it almost felt like he was trying to seduce her, but only so he could kill her. And if she was
completely seduced her, he was ready to he was like upon insertion before he pulled out the switchblade and killed her.
Right. Almost like, the fact that she was going to jump his bones is why he wanted to kill her.
Yeah.
That's pretty twisted.
Maybe it's that dirty Hollywood lifestyle. It's that dirty Hollywood lifestyle.
They were in LA. And he did hate the lifestyle because he hated that his wife spent time with rockers and musicians.
We just came full circle with this shit, so we just figured it out.
Yeah, like an hour and a half later.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. That was the point of New Year's Evil. There we go.
So then why did Derek put the Geordie LaForge glasses on with the stocking and stalk his mother?
I don't know.
And why did nobody notice? Gotta stay dirty.
No idea what the hell that was about.
Yeah. So yeah, setups with no payoffs, setups that didn't exist at all. Yeah, it definitely needed a rewrite. Like Carol's Cookie said, this movie needed a couple more drafts.
What do you think didn't make the cutting the fucking cut for this? Jesus Christ, could you imagine deleted scenes of this movie?
Oh, I don't want to think about it. Can't shower at a slasher movie. Nope. That's how they get you.
Yeah, stay dirty. All right. I don't know about this movie. What do you, so overall? Because I'm gonna wrap this up in a little bit. I didn't want to run too much over an hour.
Overall, 5 out of 10.
Oh, you give it that much?
Yeah, I've definitely seen worse movies. There was some entertainment value. There were surprises, and there were some setups that actually did pay off. And the movie, it concluded in a way that wasn't entirely dissatisfying. It needed more blood.
See, I'm not even gonna give this movie like a number reading. I'll give it like whether thumbs up, thumbs down, or thumbs sideways, or thumb up their ass.
Yeah, thumb up the ass
Definitely
of that
blood.
clown mask.
You call this movie New Year's Evil, and fucking movie posters got the switchblade, right? You definitely should have more blood, like you said.
Yeah, it needed a lot more blood. There needed to be. I think there needed to be more of an adherence to the ritual of the killings, and because he killed way too many people that just sort of happened to get in his way or come after
Yeah,
him, and I think that took
the
away
whole
from
biker, the whole biker gang thing.
yeah.
What was that? You didn't need that whole thing.
No, the bikers are entirely unnecessary to the movie, right? And really, the fact that by the end we realize this guy is deeply disturbed and he's doing this for a disturbing reason, right? A deeply ingrained, fucked up emotional reason. That is exactly the kind of killer that would stick to the ritual, right? And
Yeah,
stick to the
yeah.
rules of killing. And even though that's what we found out that we
As
had
opposed to just
for the
trying
killer,
to make his way out of somewhere.
right?
Like he was just trying to make his way out of somewhere with the whole dipping out into the drive-through theater.
Right. And so knowing that, having finished the movie and knowing that, all those other killings that weren't ritualistic take
It
away
kind
from
of
that.
made it meaningless, right? It made it meaningless.
Right. And there wasn't enough
Like they
blood.
didn't follow. Yeah, they didn't follow their own rules.
Right. 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 For a killer that's like that obsessed, then yeah, then every victim that he had should have been part of the ritual.
Right, part two in half an hour if we all sit down together. There's still hope for a sequel.
You know, in
Evil
Hollywood
2.
today,
Evil
yeah,
2,
you never know.
New Year's Evil 2, twice as evil.
Right, 42 years later, you know, that's exactly what Hollywood would make right now.
Nerdporio.
Hail the Nerdporio life form.
That's
42-year late sequel.
Lots of dancing, if I remember. Terrible dancing. And that's not
Also
dancing.
punked.
What they were doing in this movie was not dancing.
No, it was fake moshing, fake stage diving,
yeah,
flopping around
or
like a wet
they
noodle.
were all there in like a coked out zombie trance. There was that one scene where they're all just like it's like zombies. They were basically like this.
It was like an entirely different genre of music, and that's another problem in Nerdporio life form. Yeah, you say punks. Yeah, they were a little punk. They were, I would say, even more so hair metal, and there was some new wave thrown in there. It was very unclear. Yeah, glam. It was very unclear what type of music it was and what type of band they were. It was like everything thrown together.
It's like if they couldn't tell if they were David Bowie or Judas Priest. They were very weird. And I think they paid a lot of, I legit think the studio paid a lot of those people in cocaine. I do believe that there wasn't a dollar other than cocaine funds involved in a lot of those people's involvement in this movie.
Well, you know, extras. They're not co-stars.
No.
You don't get a line, you're not a co-star. You're just an extra.
But your overall take on this was what? Stupid?
Yeah. I think it thought that it was clever, and it had twists that could have been clever, but it was ultimately stupid. And look, let's face it, it's a slasher movie about New Year's Eve, and if there should have been killing anywhere, it's in that scene on the dance floor with all of those people. There should have been a bloodbath there, and there wasn't. Nobody died there.
I think you could have made this movie with a better, script, less
Yeah,
drug addicts involved in the making of the movie. Uh, I don't know. I think you could. I think they could have did a good job if they were to execute it better. But whatever.
yeah.
It's
Like I said, it
80s.
needed a few more rewrites. This director also made the movie Demon Warp, which,
Yeah, you were telling me about
uh,
this movie. Never heard of it.
yeah, I wonder if Nerdporial has seen Demon Warp. But if you
Maybe
want to
that'll be a
see,
future. Maybe that'll be a future one coming up.
maybe, yeah, no, I'd watch it for sure. If you want to see uh, the actor that plays the killer in this movie in a better movie, watch Magnum Force. I think, yeah, Magnum Force. He was in that.
Oh, the Dirty Harry movie we were talking about.
Yeah, a surprisingly good Dirty Harry movie. And just to remind everyone who came in after the beginning, the woman, the lead actress in the movie, Blaze, was Pinky
Judas Bowie.
Tuscadero on Happy Days. Judas Bowie. That
Judas.
sounds pretty cool, Bone. A lot cooler than the bands in that movie.
So it's kind of what their mix was a bit, right? Like, especially that. Oh my god, that first band. That first band sucked. They played their song like 3 times.
Yeah, they played the New Year's Evil song 3 times in the movie. So it's almost meta, but not quite. And not in a cool way.
Who was the guy in Magnum Force?
Astrachan? I think his character's name is Astrachan.
All right.
Let's see. It was Wicked Bad. Wicked Bad. Yeah, Nerdporial. Demon
So,
Warp is the movie with the Bigfoot aliens.
should we do that movie in the future? Shall I make up a poster for Demon Warp? And what year is Demon Warp?
Oh, I remember. Let me see. Let's see. Abbott Alston. 1988. So 8 years later.
Oh shit! Sounds like it's
He
gonna
also
be good.
he also made a movie in 1985 called Nine Deaths of the Ninja. I've never seen
But
that either.
wait,
Oh yeah, Nerdporial remembers Magna Force. Clint beats him to death on the ship.
what was the movie the movie we were talking about before?
Demon Warp.
While we were no, other than Demon Warp,
Magnum Force.
no, Hell Comes to Frogtown
Oh yeah, yeah. I watched that with
and,
Cosmic Fusion last week.
Ice Pirates and Ice Pirates.
Ice Pirates. Yes, I
So
keep
maybe
hearing about Ice Pirates. They speak very favorably about it on Midnight Edge. I've never seen it. A lot of people
so
seem to have seen that movie.
shall we do those movies in the future? if you're
Yeah, no,
if you're willing to
I'm down
come
for all
through
of them.
again and do this again. Okay, cool.
Yeah, dude, I'll watch just about any movie with you. This is fun.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Right. So, some people watch a bad movie and they don't appreciate it the way that you appreciate it. They'll be like, that sucks.
Yeah, I know, but the whole point is so we could rip on it afterwards. Stuff.
Yeah.
We Siskel and Ebert the shit out of stuff.
Right, and we write a script one day. We know exactly what not to do because of all the badly written movies we've seen.
You know what? I think I could write a better movie than Birdemic. I'm not gonna lie. Don't get me wrong. I've never written a movie before, but I think I could write a better movie than Birdemic. I hope I can. But I don't know. So next week maybe I'll do another one. What do you say? Should I do another one next week?
Hell yeah.
All right, so I'll pick from my bag of usual shittiness.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and you said I could bring any suggestions to the table, so I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. So
Something
Carl's
tells me
Cookies.
Nerdporial knows a lot of good bad movies.
I have a feeling a lot of people do, but they're afraid to come forward and admit. Like they want to say it's like a guilty pleasure. You know, like how people call these movies guilty pleasures.
Right, right. Well, if you have a bad movie that you like, and you want to watch with someone, you know, people can be what judgy sometimes, right? So you
Yeah,
might think, oh, I don't want to recommend
yeah,
that because they'll think it's bad, but this is what we do.
but also like when you tell people beforehand, like this movie's bad. It's like I do that all the time.
Yeah, yeah. And they're like,
I
you tell them
let
it's
people
bad,
know. I
and they'll watch
let
it.
them know beforehand. This movie's gonna be bad. It's gonna be really, really bad.
Yeah.
But I
Carol's
didn't.
Cookie
I
says, you
honestly
mean
didn't know.
bad.
I didn't know this one was gonna be bad. I just had an assumption, and I was right about it because I've never
I,
seen this
sp-
one.
I spy a bot. Yeah, I already got that one. Yeah, but you know, I do appreciate. I will
Oh, there was
say,
another one. I missed it.
in I already got
You
it.
swatted. You got it.
Yep, yep,
Spotted
got it.
that bug. Okay,
SWAT
cool.
bot. So the SWAT bots are actually these villain robots in the Sonic the Hedgehog Saturday morning animated series back in the 90s. SWAT bots. They worked for Robotnik, but not in the other Sonic the Hedgehog series, which was called The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Cisco's brutal.
I
The,
never
the the
saw
one
any
thing
of the Sonic cartoons.
the one thing I will give this movie credit for, more than anything else that it did, is it attempted to be a holiday slasher movie that wasn't
Which
about
is kind of
Christmas.
rare, right? It was kind of
Yeah, it
rare,
was
right?
about
That
New
doesn't have
Year's.
something to do with Christmas.
Right, because we have
Yeah.
all kinds of holiday horror movies, holiday slasher movies. Uh, like we were talking about Jack Frost as a Christmas uh,
The one with
slasher
Goldberg.
movie.
I was telling you about the one with Goldberg as the
Oh,
killer Santa.
Santa's sleigh.
Santa's
Yeah,
sleigh.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot for Christmas. I think there's even a Thanksgiving slasher movie, although it escapes me.
The fucking one with Gary Busey, the ginger dead man. Yeah, there's a bunch of
The
really
Ginger
dumb
Dead
shit.
Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think there's at least one Easter slasher movie. And I know there's a Valentine's Day slasher movie called My Bloody Valentine. That was in 3D.
What up, Parrot? How you doing?
What's up, Parrot? Oh, Naporial says, I did see Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yes! We were just talking about that. Slasher knows that movie. I watched it with Justin Proper like a week and a half ago. And for the first time, that was an awesomely bad movie. Darius, you will need to come
What's
get me or
whatever
rescue me
bad
so I
movie
can
is that?
watch
Are
whatever
you want to
bad
watch a
movie is
bad
next.
movie with us next week?
She
Carol's
does.
Cookies.
She
Okay,
does.
cool. I don't know if I follow her on Twitter or if she's on Twitter. I don't know.
She's not on anything except Instagram. Let me get the link.
Listen, a lot of the movies I have lined up are like they're probably over the top violent. Uh, 70s and 80s. I guess you might say horror. You might call them slasher movies. I don't know.
Yeah, like you said, this movie had a 70s hangover. It was 1980. And so it was sort of on that razor's edge between the 70s and the 80s.
Well, also the hair,
We had the hair
hairstyles.
bands. We
Yeah,
also
yeah,
had
yeah.
the disco bar.
Yeah, the kind of you couldn't tell if it was new wave or if it was punk. You couldn't
Right.
tell. It's like it wasn't quite new wave, but it wasn't quite punk.
Right, and even Blaze's makeup, she had that real strong, like, what do you call it? The red stuff on the cheeks, the makeup, blush.
Yeah.
You know, like the cheekbone blush. of the early 80s. She had that in spades. Deep Red.
But
Deep Red.
I got
Profundo Rosso?
I
Dario
got I
Argento?
got other movies that all right. I have a list of movies. Some I know are shitty. Others I'm just expecting to be shitty. So so next week should I go with a movie that I know is shitty or a movie that I might just like put money on the table that it's shitty?
I thought you already picked the one for next week.
I didn't. No. No.
Well, if do you know if I've seen either one of them?
Have you ever seen Hobo with a Shotgun?
No, not yet. That's Rutger Hauer, right?
Yeah.
I have not seen that.
I might go with that.
Has Carol's Cookies seen that?
I don't know. Hobo with a Shotgun?
She says, "Let us all be surprised."
Okay. You know what? She's right about that. Okay. You're right about that, Carol. I gotcha. So I'll do that. So
You know I haven't. That's from
thank
the
you,
beginning.
Darius, for coming through, brother. I know.
Hey, thank you for
Thank you.
setting this up.
Thank you for coming
Thank you
through.
for
Wow.
inviting me.
Carol's Cookies. Krish. Brian. Brian, thank you for coming through. These Russian bots, whatever the hell they are, they can fuck off. Darth Haster. Jens.
Good night, Bone.
Raquel. Oh, Bone. Sorry, I'm scrolling down the comments. Bone. Deej. Bone. Vigilante. And Vigilante, too. If I know Vigilante used to come through for the watch parties I had. So, Vigilante wants to come through. Watch
Yes,
these
Carol's
friggin' movies.
Cookies. Slasher and I get along very well. It's crazy, right? Yeah, good to see you too, Blub.
Pop
Oh,
culture curator.
yeah, thank you for hitting the like button.
Corporeal. Thank you. I appreciate anyone who you know comes through. Other than the bots. Parrot Head.
Dude, we've got bot smashing down to a reflex now. So good that by the time you see it
I
and
was trying.
instantly click on it, someone else has already got
I
it.
was okay. I was trying. But I can't even tell from my point right now.
Yeah, if you click on it and it says unhide user, it means one of us already got it.
But Darius, go ahead. Plug yourself.
Oh, plug myself. I think I have a sound effect for that. Hey, you guys know me. I'm Darius Münchhausen. Don't worry about it if you can't pronounce it. I'm back to streaming again, baby. Monday nights, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., except I always run several hours over. And, whatever extra shows that I come up with to do during the week. I was like hopping on shows with my friends when they invite me. And I always have a good time with Slasher. So thanks for watching. And, yeah, hit the bell for notifications. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you for coming through, bro.
Hey, thank you.
Yep. So, all right, sure. Next week, I'll reach into the I'll reach into the hat and pick out a different shitty movie, and uh, I'll do this again. Viewer advisory. All right, later, everybody.
Good night.
Happy New Year's Evil.